Welcome back. You're here with David Apodaca. We're going to talk about sports. I'm going to drink my coffee. We're going to talk about the NFL on the Sports and Coffee podcast. Let's jump right into it. This is NFL news, reports, everything that I'm getting and seeing. So, like I said, let's jump into it. First, let's get this training camp update out the way. Teams don't expect players to show up early. No one does. The coronavirus is slowing all the process down right now. So the NFL is still planning to hold training camp on July 28th. And with no one showing up early, this is going to have an impact on the preseason. I know we all love the preseason. No one wants them to skip games, and they want them to play. But we might miss some preseason games, and I'm sorry about that because I know how much you guys love your preseason games. I know it sucks and it hurts, but that's okay. It's okay. Comment in the comment section or hit me up, and we can talk about why you're going to miss the preseason games. Sadly to say, I won't, because I think it's just a spot where people get injured. Coaches already know who's going to get cut after the first preseason game, but that's just me. Now, let's jump to a controversial player, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is getting a lot of interest from 4 or 5 teams, but when a top player is a free agent, they always have interest. So they always have 4 or 5 teams interested in them. That's nothing new. I'm pretty sure the whole NFL, except for the Las Vegas Raiders, are interested in Antonio Brown. He is still one of the best receivers in the NFL. Just look at the last time he played in 2018 when he played a full season. He had 104 yards catching, 1,297 yards receiving, and 15 touchdowns. So he's a dominant receiver still, even though he's about to hit 30 years old. Now, Ian Rapoport said it best. I'm just going to sum up what he said. He said the issue with signing him right now is he's still being investigated. Okay, so if teams sign him, they have to know he might get suspended. And you're losing a roster spot for those 2 to 3 weeks he's on your team. And that guy you just cut might be picked up by another team. So teams signing him have to know that he might get suspended. 2 teams that are very interested in him right now are the Baltimore Ravens and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Baltimore Ravens GM said, no, I don't think we're going to sign him. We're good. But the Seahawks are still talking about it. It's an inside talk. They aren't like telling reporters. They're not going out to talking to his agent or anything like that. They're just discussing on bringing him in. And Russell Wilson does want help, but his receiving core is pretty good. He has Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Philip Dorsett. I don't know. But with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, if you get Antonio Brown in there, Tyler Lockett can play the slot like nobody else. So that receiving core would be deadly. But right now it's just talk, so don't see that happening anytime soon. Next, let's go on to Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams does not want to be a New York Jet anymore. He said the main reason why is Adam Gase. Now, Adam Gase had issues when he was with the Dolphins. I don't know why people didn't see this coming, but he did have issues already. Now, he wants to be traded, but the teams he wants to be traded to are the Baltimore Ravens, Super Bowl contender, Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl contender, Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl contender, Philadelphia Eagles, kind of Super Bowl contender, San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl contender, the Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl contender. He wants to go to a Super Bowl contender. And earlier today, there was reports that he won't mind going to Tampa Bay, Super Bowl contender. So he just wants to go to a Super Bowl contending team, and he wants to win a Super Bowl. And if a team is pushing to win a Super Bowl this year, Jamal Adams you got to go get him. Last year, he had 75 tackles, 7 passes batted, and 1 interception. He also had a strip sack against the New York Giants, and he took that to the house. He is a very, very good young player. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the San Francisco 49ers. Deebo Samuel fractured his foot while he was practicing with Jimmy G and some other couple of other guys with the 49ers. His replacement has not been found yet. I know we talked about Antonio Brown, but I don't think the Niners want to bring him in. The other receiver that's out there is Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant has a chance to replace Deebo Samuel. It's said that Deebo Samuel is only going to be out for about half the season, but if Dez can get something going, this can help him look for another team next year. Now, Deebo Samuel last year had 57 catches, 802 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he's a good receiver, and Dez Bryant is also a elite receiver. So it's going to be hard to say, hey, Dez, thanks for your work, and kick him to the curb. No, you're going to want to offer him another contract, even though he's coming off an injury. But I think Dez wants some money, and he wants to play for a team that he wants to play for. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't want to play for the Niners, but the Niners don't really fit his play style, because the Niners run the ball. Dez seems like someone that wants the ball a lot. So I think the 1-year deal for him will just be there, and then they would kick him to the curb and tell him, hey, thank you for your hard work. Go find a team that wants you more than us. Next, we're going to move on to the quarterbacks. One quarterback who is still a free agent is Cam Newton. Now, Cam Newton is not a free agent because of what you think. He's a free agent right now still because teams can't do a physical on him. He is a free agent because of the coronavirus. I know, shocking. He doesn't have it. It's just teams can't do a physical. He's coming off of surgery, and they want to see if he's still good. His shoulder and his legs still work and everything. So that's why he's a free agent. Now, opportunities will come up for him as a backup or a starter. I think there's one team he can start for, and we all know what that team is. That is the New England Patriots. If you look at New England's starter and their backup, you have Garrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer. Yep, that reads Super Bowl all over it. Just kidding. It does not. Don't take that serious. So, bringing Cam Newton in won't hurt at all. Okay, you can probably get him on cheap because he wants to prove that he can still play. It's just, I don't think, what's his name? The head coach there, Bill Belichick, that's his name, would want to just put up with what Cam Newton does and everything. I don't think he dealt with one of those players since Randy Moss, but Randy Moss did clean up a little bit once he got there. So I think bringing in Cam Newton won't hurt. It might actually make you better because Garrett Stidham has not proven himself as a starting NFL quarterback. So I can see it happening no matter what. I can see them bringing in Cam Newton and Cam Newton shining like a star in this new style offense for him, where he's been in not Jacksonville, the Panthers, and just been running it, and people knew what they were going to do. Next, another quarterback who's a free agent, Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick is a free agent, and teams are interested in him like crazy. They should have been interested in him years ago, but now it's for sure they're interested in him. Most owners are coming out and saying, hey, if the GM and the head coach agrees to sign him, I agree with them. So I think Colin Kaepernick will be on an NFL team next year. I don't know if he will start on an NFL team next year. He can go to the Jets because Sam Darnold still has a lot to prove, and if Sam Darnold can't prove anything, he can take his place. He can also go to the Chargers, to where they have Tyrod Taylor and they have Justin Herbert from Oregon, who they drafted very early in the first round draft. So I can see that happening too. That would be a good spot for him. He's in California still. So those are two teams that I think can sign Colin Kaepernick, and he will get the best chance to play on an NFL team. There you go. That's everything that's been happening around the NFL. Now, if you have something that I missed, or you want to talk about something that happened that I already spoke about, hit me up in the comment section. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Snapchat. Hit me up on Instagram. I will listen, and we can go ahead and talk about football, and we could drink our coffee together. Okay? Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm David Apodaca. Thank you for listening to Sports and Coffee.